Hey guys, I'm Erik Peterson and I'm a men's dating and relationship coach for skillofattraction.com. And today's coaching video is called Keeping the Spark in a Long Distance Relationship. Now, as many of you know, these coaching videos is when one of you guys writes into me, and if I think it's a question that will be beneficial to my viewers and my subscribers, I answer your question in a video. And in this particular email, this guy, he is in a long distance relationship. He lives on the West Coast and she lives on the East Coast in the US, of course, and they visit each other once a month, but he feels that she's starting to become a little distant and he wants to know how he could keep the spark alive. So if you guys have any questions, like I said, if it's a good question, I will answer it in a video, but please feel free to send me your questions anyway. All you have to do is head over to my website at skillofattraction.com, click on the contact tab and shoot me a message from there. All I ask is that you keep your questions and your messages to me just rather short and to the point, 1 to 2 paragraphs max. Otherwise, I'm just not going to have time to get through it. As I get a lot of emails from you guys. But if you're just a little patient, I usually get back to you within a couple of days. I do have to take care of my paying clients first, but like I said, just be a little patient and I will get back to you eventually. But if you need to get in touch with me right away or you want to dive deeper into your situation, the best way to do that is, again, head over to my website at skillofattraction.com, click on the coaching tab, and there you'll see I have several options for you to choose from. And I'm happy to say that I have added phone coaching to those options, and I also have added another email coaching option. So right now I have emergency email coaching where I will respond to you within 24 to 48 hours depending on which option you select. I also now offer bi-weekly coaching where I will work with you throughout the next 2 weeks. And I also offer monthly coaching where I will work with you throughout the month. This is all email coaching. And now I do have phone coaching, and my time slots are very limited at this time, and as we go along, hopefully I will be able to have more time slots open for you guys, but for right now it's a little limited. But if it works for you, please feel free to book some phone coaching, and if you can't find a good time slot for you, there's always email coaching still. So let's get on to the email here. He says, "Hi, I'm in a long-distance relationship. I'm an airline pilot, 49, and she's living with her parents, 25. Nice, almost a 25-year difference there. But she works part-time as a paralegal on the East Coast. We have been seeing each other since we met online on the West Coast, where I mainly live, and hooked up that same night. Nice. We started by me visiting her in her town for 8 days, then have since been seeing each other, both my place and hers, about 8 to 10 days a month, all in a row." What I think he means here is that once a month they spend 8 to 10 days together, all in a row. So we spend 24/7 together and generally don't get bored together. My concern is she does seem a bit more distant, and I can't help but feel it's because we spend a lot of time together than we are apart. We text and FaceTime a lot. I have a lot of time off due to my job, so I'm usually always available to her. The rare times I'm flying, she knows and therefore doesn't reach out anyway. What do I do to keep the spark going? There is much more to discuss, but I wanted to keep it simple for you and maybe focus on general long-distance dynamics and not our specific issues. Okay, well, I don't think it's so much a problem that you guys spend a lot of time together in each other's presence and then suddenly you're apart for a long period. I think it's really more that you are so available to her. I mean, you have to understand that women need a little time and a reason to wonder about you. You know, they need to wonder what you're doing, where you are, who you're with, and what you're thinking. Are you thinking about her? And one of the things that keeps a woman's attraction high is having to figure you out. And this keeps you in her head and keeps her thinking about you. And I mean, I'm sure you know women love a little mystery in a man, and if she always knows where you are, knows your schedule, knows what you're thinking, who you're going out with, I mean, there's really nothing to wonder about. There's no mystery about you. And once a woman feels that she has you figured out, I mean, her attraction for you begins to plummet. That's why a lot of married or long-term couples have boring, sexless relationships. There's no challenge, no excitement, and no mystery. Because they're always together. They're always so available to each other. They have nothing else going on outside the relationship. So you need to add a little mystery to your relationship. And I'm not saying that you should be playing games or anything, but you should give her a little something to wonder about from time to time. I mean, as an example, say she says, well, what did you do today? You may say something like, instead of telling her, oh, you know, I went to the store and then I did some yard work. I mean, that's just, it's boring. And especially if you say the same thing all the time. So maybe the next time she says, what did you do today? You could say, oh, you don't want to know. And if she keeps pushing, you know, you just want to be playful and fun about it. And you could say, well, it's a top secret mission for a government spy. And, you know, I'm just making this up as I go along. But if she keeps pushing, besides that, you know, she may say, well, come on, tell me what you did today. And like I said, you just be playful and fun, but you don't really tell her everything. So you might say, well, I'm sworn to secrecy, but it involves a government spy, 2 homeless men, smoke bombs, pyrotechnics, and a cherry mint condition muscle car. I mean, it doesn't have to make sense because she's going to be going, what the heck is he talking about? And you just have fun with her and keep her guessing. And if she keeps pushing, you just say, well, you know, maybe I could tell, maybe if you guessed, I could confirm your guess. And this way it's a little fun and it keeps her engaged both emotionally and mentally. And you basically just want to mess with her a little bit, but like in a fun, playful way, and keep her guessing. And of course, you don't want to do this all the time. But, you know, once in a while, you just want to have a little fun. And she might get a little frustrated, but that's okay. I've talked about this in other videos before. Women much rather be a little frustrated that you're not giving them all the details or they can't spend enough time with you, as opposed to you telling them everything and always being there and always being available to her. I mean, women they never want full disclosure. They may think that they do, but once they get all that information, their attraction begins to drop. And I mean, they're much happier, and trust me on this, they're much happier learning things about you on their own as they go along. It's kind of like slowly opening a Christmas gift, or, you know, reading a book. If you know the end of the book, you would be bored reading all the details in between. So let her figure these things out for herself. And, you know, when she asks you questions about yourself, it's the same thing. You know, be a little vague about it. Let her pull answers out of you. This is much more exciting and fun and interesting than you giving her all the details. And like I said, women never want full disclosure. And some other things you could do too is, you know, don't always be so available to her when she contacts you, whether it be through text or phone calls. You know, if she sends you a text and you usually respond right away, you may want to wait a couple hours. And like I said, you really don't want to play games, so it's much better if you have hobbies, or maybe you're working on a side hustle, or you're being social with friends. It's much better that you do it that way and not be available to her than just seeing her message come through and say, oh, I'll get back to her later. But the idea is to take your time because you're busy with other things. And women find it very attractive when men are so busy, like they're purpose driven, they're ambitious, they have a big social circle. All these things really help your attraction with women. So those are just some things to think about. And another thing you could do too is break relationship patterns. As an example, say you guys have plans every Thursday night, she contacts you at 7 p.m. Well, this Thursday, you can't make it. You're not available. You have something else going on. And it's very small and subtle, but it's going to make a big difference once in a while, because it's going to, like I said, it's going to get her thinking, get her imagination going. Let her imagination fill in the blanks. This is much more exciting. Otherwise, if you're doing the same things all the time, things start to become a little boring and predictable. And this is usually when girls start to pull away, when things become a little boring, a little predictable. She gets a little too familiar with you. She's a little too certain of where she stands in the relationship. And you just need to break patterns every now and then just to, mix things up a little bit. And like I said, it's subtle, but it makes a big difference over long term. Because I've talked about this in other videos too, is women get bored pretty easily. I mean, girls just want to have fun, just like the old Cyndi Lauper song says. And that's very true. They get bored very easily, and when things get a little too predictable, she gets a little too certain about you, where she stands. That's when women typically pull away, start getting a little distant, start getting a little cold. So, like I said, you need to mix things up a little bit, be a little mysterious. Like I said, I don't want you to think that you have to start playing games with them, but just find other things to do with your time so you're not so available, and it will work wonders for you and her attraction for you. So try applying those to your relationship and your life and see how things work out. I mean, like I said, everyone is a little different. Every woman is a little different, but what I'm explaining to you guys works with all women. And it actually works with all men too. I just not too long ago, my girl and I, we were trying to work out a pretty difficult issue, and I said, "Oh, I wish you weren't so difficult." And she said, "You'd just get bored with me if I wasn't." And she's right. So it's the same thing for my female viewers that are watching this. You got to mix things up a little bit too. So if you guys have found this video helpful, or any of my videos helpful, I would really appreciate a thumbs up, and for you to share it with any of your friends and family. And I'd also really appreciate if you hit the subscribe button down below and tick that little bell symbol next to it so you get real-time notifications of when I upload new videos. And in the description down below, I will have a link to both my contact page and my coaching page, but I also have a link to PayPal if you deem this video worthy of a donation. So that's it for this video. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Have a good one. Bye-bye.